what ends up happening is that sickness, that feeling from failing to have conformed to the moral law and awaiting the punishment and knowing that damnation in its worst case might happen, or anticipating a sickness, or anticipating retribution of some kind by a divine, all-powerful deity. Wow, that's far worse than Daddy coming home, right? That's far worse. Okay, so the cure, right? And I have the cure in scare quotes, right? Nietzsche's a freaking genius, right? I mean, so I love how he does it. He explains what the bite of conscience is now, so we know, and this is for an evil act. We explain what the bite of conscience is for evil acts, to be even more specific. And now he's going to give you the cure in scare quotes, which means it's not really a cure. But this is the cure that the sacerdotal class is going to prescribe to devotees to sort of make amends for your transgressions against God. So here's how you go about making amends. So the cure for the bite of conscience, and this pertains to bad actions. This is a quote, direct quote from note 233 in the text. Previous practice held a man to be cured when he abased himself, when I brought myself to the lowest level, right? Previous practice held a man to be cured when he abased himself before the cross and swore to be a good man. He is swearing. The act of swearing is not, I swear, you don't swear to Bob, you swear to God. I swear to God, I know I shouldn't have done it. I am the sickest, vilest human being in the world for having lusted after this woman, for having wanted that guy's car, for having wanted his position or his power or his whatever it is that you want, right? And then you just abase yourself. It's this, I am the worst type of person. I know I'm wrong, and I don't know why I keep failing, and I am it'd be like I'm unworthy, and that, right? You abase yourself, right? And that is sort of an attempt to sort of to give you a sense of what the abasement is, right? How it sounds, right? So previous practice held a man to be cured if or when he abased himself before the cross and swore to be a good man. So it's, I'm such a bad person, I have this flaw, and I need to be better, but I promise I'll be good, and I will turn around. I just need another chance. Just give me another chance, and I'll be a better person. I won't do that again, right? And promised and swore to be a good man. But, according to Nietzsche, and here's where it gets caught, like, Nietzsche's always jabbing. But a criminal with a certain sober seriousness cleaves to his fate, which is a great line. It's just words, right? But a criminal with a certain but a criminal with a certain somber seriousness, good alliteration, cleaves to his fate and does not slander his deed after it is done, has more health of a soul. What a wonderfully written passage, right? Just for the sheer sound of that, I'll just read it one last time because it sounds so good, right? But a criminal with a certain somber seriousness cleaves to his fate and does not slander his deed after it is done, has more health of a soul. So you go to the criminal and you say, I caught you. You were in the house and you stole that money. Repent. And the criminal looks at you and the criminal's like, nah, I had to do it because, my kids were going to starve. And right now there's no means of me providing for my starving family, so I had to do what I had to do to survive. And, well, don't you feel bad? I absolutely don't feel bad. You had, I didn't, I'm stronger, and I took what you had. And now me and mine have. And then, what you gonna do about it? Like Pac said, man, let's keep it funky. Like Pac said, I ain't never did a crime I ain't have to do. I think it was in Changes, the song, right? Pac said, this is a perfect time to bring in hip-hop, right? I've never done a crime I ain't have to do is exactly what Nietzsche's talking about, right? The criminal. This is great. This is off the top, too. Pac says, I've never done a crime I ain't have to do. He's not repenting for his crimes. He's not saying I'm sorry for being a criminal. He's like, I had to do it. Circumstances created a situation in which I had to do it, and I'm not apologizing for it. I'm a criminal, thug life till I die, and it is what it is. Epic. It's epic. I'm not necessarily saying it's, you know, this is not a condoning thing, this is not a glamorizing thing, it's just what it is, right? You're in, and Nietzsche was, I mean, his mind was so powerful that he could project and see that situation. And, you know, this is good creative writing as well, right? This is you can tell the mind of a genius. Wherever he's writing, he puts himself in the mind of a criminal. He sees himself commit an immoral act, having, let's just say, not committed an immoral act. He sees himself before an audience being judged. And instead of trying to justify his act or repent for his act, he's just like, I did what I had to do. Give me the punishment and let's go, right? So, but a criminal with a certain somber seriousness, right, is dead serious, cleaves to his fate and does not slander. Whatever you're going to punish me with, it's whatever my fate is for doing, give me the best that you got, and does not slander his deed. I'm not going to say that, oh yeah, I'm debased and I'm wrong for having stole from these people. Nah, you got, I need, I'm taking, I'm stronger, it is what it is, right? That's Tupac. That's Tupac, right? I never did a crime I ain't have to do. It's genius. Okay, so got a little. I needed that little bit of energy boost right there. It's a very great line. Just the words, just good writing is the best thing in the world. So anyway, moving on. Next bit that should be extremely clear. The real cure. So that's the fake cure, right? So the fake cure is sort of this abasement, this self-abasement, this sappy, sorry, pathetic, sort of self-remorse for having done an act. Oh, I know I did it. It felt so good when I did it. And in the moment, I loved it. Every minute of it. But I got caught, and I really feel bad. You feel bad about the act? If you were to really challenge these people, they probably feel bad because they got caught, not because they did the act. But that's another story, right? And the cure is to just wallow in your sorrow for having failed to conform. And Nietzsche's like, don't do that, right? Cling to what's real and what motivated you rationally to do that bad act, and just wait for whatever punishment they're going to give you. I mean, that's pretty cocky. All right, the real cure now. So that's the fake cure. Now we're going to talk about the real cure. All right. So that was the fake cure, according to Nietzsche. Sort of this wallowing in self-remorse and self-abasement and so on and so forth, and asking and swearing to be a good person and not do it again, so on and so forth. The real cure for the bite of conscience for bad actions. I do not like this kind of cowardice. This is a quote from Nietzsche, note 235. I do not like this kind of cowardice. He calls it being cowardice, right? You're a coward. You're a coward. You did the act. You know what you were doing is wrong. You get punished. You do the crime, you do the time, right? You do the crime, you do the time. I do not like this kind of cowardice towards one's own deed. No deed can be undone by being regretted. You can't undo the act by regretting have done it. No, you did the act, and you need to suffer the consequences for having done the act. In hip-hop, in the ghetto, there's so many ideas that pop in from these lectures, and this one just popped in. In sort of in hip-hop, and it's not so much in hip-hop. I've heard a few songs, you know, I think Diddy had something that said stop snitching, or it was, some group had t-shirts that said stop snitching, and it was like a stop sign. And the idea is we're all criminals doing criminal activity. You get caught by the feds, by the cops, and now you're going to rat me out for having done dirt, and we both were doing dirt. No, you did the crime, do the time. Don't snitch me out because you were doing dirt. You should, you know, hold your head with regard and just do the crime. Do the time for for what you've done, right? Rather than sort of wallowing in this self abasement. So no deed can be undone by regretting it, no more than being forgiven or atoned for. We, and this is a beautiful line, we immoralists prefer not to believe in guilt. I cannot describe the freedom that you feel. And this is not, don't go over there telling people, Dr. Campbell told me this, to not feel guilt. I'm an immoralist, I don't feel guilt. You're going to embarrass yourself, right? It is a difficult it is a difficult